So, what if I told you that one of the most powerful ways to protect your brain for the long haul isn't some crazy new technology, but a simple nutrient you can literally find in your next meal? Today, we are digging into some really compelling new research that suggests omega 3 fatty acids could be a critical upgrade for your brain, especially when you're in midlife. Let's take a look at what the science is telling us. Okay, let's just jump right in with the big headline number. A massive analysis of over 200,000 adults found that people with higher blood levels of omega 3s had a 35 to 40% lower risk of developing early onset dementia. I mean, that is a staggering figure, especially for a condition that's diagnosed before you even hit 65. And you're probably thinking, okay, hold on. Can one little nutrient really make that much of a difference? It's a totally fair question, and it's exactly what we're going to unpack. How can a basic fatty acid have such a profound impact on our brain, our most complex organ? Well, the answer, it turns out, is buried deep inside the brain's very structure and wiring. To really get this, we first have to understand what's acting as this powerful shield for our brain. It's not just one thing, you see, but a whole family of omega 3s, and each one plays a slightly different but absolutely vital role. For years, DHA was kind of the star of the show. We've all heard it's the brain's main building block, and that's totally true. It's a key part of our brain cells. But this latest research, it puts a brand new spotlight on EPA. Its protective link against dementia was even stronger, and scientists think it's because of its incredible anti-inflammatory powers. So it's not just about building the brain, it's about actively protecting it from damage, like having a bodyguard on duty 24/7. Okay, so we know omega 3s are protective, but how? What are they actually doing on a physical level? This is where it gets really fascinating. We're going to see how these nutrients are directly maintaining the brain's internal communication network. I want you to think of your brain's white matter like the super intricate system of insulated electrical wiring that connects everything. Just like the plastic coating on a wire, this white matter lets nerve signals travel super fast and efficiently. Now, if that insulation starts to break down, communication slows to a crawl, and that's when cognitive function starts to suffer. And check this out. This chart just illustrates the connection perfectly. It comes from a study in the journal Cerebral Cortex, and it basically plots omega 3 intake against how healthy and dense the brain's white matter is. The higher you go on that vertical axis, the more intact the brain's wiring. You can clearly see the trend, right? Higher omega 3 levels in your 40s and 50s are directly linked to better white matter structure 20 years later. So, here's the bottom line. Keeping this white matter in good shape is absolutely key. It is the physical foundation for a brain that works well as we get older. It's simple, really. Better wiring just means better communication, better memory, and faster thinking. Period. Now for a really critical question. What about genetics? A lot of us worry about the hand we were dealt, right? Does any of this lifestyle stuff even matter if you have a genetic risk for something like Alzheimer's? Well, the research offers a surprisingly hopeful answer. This might be the most empowering finding of all. That huge drop in dementia risk, it was seen across the board, no matter what genes people had. But get this. For people carrying the APOE4 gene, which is the single biggest genetic risk factor for Alzheimer's, the positive link between omega 3s and the health of their brain's white matter was even stronger. This is huge. It suggests that your diet can be a powerful tool to pull, one that can potentially help you push back against your genetic risk. Okay, so the science is super compelling, but what does it all mean for you and me in practice? How do we translate all this research into something we can actually aim for? This is the number to remember, 8%. The studies found that the biggest brain health benefits were linked to getting an omega 3 index of about 8%. So what in the world is that? The omega 3 index is just a simple blood test. And it's not about what you ate yesterday for lunch. It's a really stable measure of your omega 3 status over the long term, like several months. Researchers love it because it's objective proof, way more reliable than just asking people to remember what they ate last Tuesday. Just for some context, most people in the US are hanging out at an index of 4% or lower. The average is about 5%. So how do you get from that average of 5% up to the sweet spot of 8%? The researchers actually lay out a really clear path. You could eat a 4-ounce serving of an oily fish like salmon every single day. Or look, if that's not going to happen, you can use supplements. The study points out that adding about 1,400 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA each day is what it takes to close that gap. It's a real change, but it's definitely achievable. So let's pull all this together. The evidence is pointing to a really clear opportunity here. The choices we make in our 40s and 50s can have a profound physical impact on our brain health for decades and decades to come. All right, here's the bottom line. Getting more omega-3s isn't just some vague, good-for-you thing. It's tied to a drastically lower dementia risk because it's physically preserving your brain's communication network. It works even if you're at a higher genetic risk. And there is a clear, measurable target, that 8% index, that you can actually aim for. You know, this quote from the lead author of that big dementia study really says it all. This isn't about waiting for problems to show up. It's about being proactive. The critical time to make a difference is right now, in midlife, long before cognitive issues would ever even be on the radar. And that brings it all right back to you. This research isn't just a bunch of numbers. It's a roadmap. It puts a really powerful tool for your long-term brain health directly into your hands. So the question really is, knowing what you know now, what's one choice you can make today to invest in the brain you're going to have tomorrow?